Hello beautiful people, today I'm going to be showing you how to scam, finesse, finagle, cheat, lie, catfish your way into a bomb Instagram selfie like a pro and look better than you do in real life online. She's a catfish. Okay, look, it's 2019. Everyone edits their pictures. Even before then, everyone was editing their pictures in magazines. The only difference now is that you and I, us plebeians, real people, can edit their photos like celebrities, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's the essence of democracy. Ah-ha-ha. It's 2019, everybody edits their photos. I'm just gonna show you how to do it and make yourself look bomb. I mean, you see yourself looking there, you already look fantastic. Is that a new shirt? I love it. The color really brings out your eyes. And you look lovely in that new haircut. Is that a new haircut? I can tell it's a new haircut. You look great. You look stunning. You look ravishing. I love you. If you wanted to use a little bit of face tune, I'm just saying, this is how you think you should do it. I think this is a good way to do it, and I think you can learn a little something. I'm just going to take you guys through how I would edit these 3 photos of myself. One is a very, I only wear chapstick and mascara kind of look. The next is a very colorful makeup photo. And then the third is a really badly lit, like full body pic. Okay, so getting right into it, I'm going to place the screen recording right here. So first up, I'm going to open Facetune, and I already have loaded in this selfie of myself. Yep, this is really cringy. So the first thing I see about this is that Mount Vesuvius is growing on my cheek. So I'm going to first go into retouch and heal. Never smooth over your bumps. You always want to go in and heal them first. So first you see that, just taking away all of the texture. And you see that just before and after. We're gonna color correct that later, so don't worry about the redness, but yeah, just go ahead and select all of your little bumps and lumps and heal right over them. Ooh, look at that one. That's a big one. We're just gonna go and get rid of all of those little hyperpigmentation spots to give the real appearance of perfectly clear skin. You don't want to use the smooth tool over too much of your skin, because that's how people can clock real quick and right away. Wow, my skin looks so much healthier. It looks like I've been drinking water, which I have not been. So we saved that to get rid of all of the acne. Now that we've gotten rid of all of the texture of my acne, you need to go in and color correct it so that it balances with the rest of your skin. So I like to go into paint, then select a generic color of my skin, then go into the color palette and change the hue of that to green so that it stays the same level of lightness and depth as my skin, but it is a green hue. Then I like to use that color that I just selected in the skin tool and go over any areas that are red with green. And you can see that it's really green right now, but it won't be when I turn the opacity of that down, so don't worry about it. Just go over any areas that have any redness that you don't want, anything that's looking a little agitated. Great. Now we're going to take this little slider tool and move that down until it looks just like my skin. So you can see with the redness, redness color corrected. With the redness, redness color corrected. Awesome. It's like wearing a green concealer. It's kind of the same thing, but we're doing it with editing and not with makeup because we are fraudulent. Now go back into paint. I like to do these as separate layers so that I could get rid of one with just the back button. And go into tone, select the pure white, and use skin to brighten up my eyes. And just go over the whites of my eyes with white just to make them a little bit brighter. And then take that opacity down to like 70. Makes my eyes just pop a little bit more. Then I select full black and go into the skin tool and go over my lashes because it just makes my lashes pop just that little bit more. And make sure you just get your lashes, none of the skin around it. just want to darken your lashes a little bit. Not that like full, super fake look, but it makes your mascara look like it did a little bit more than it actually did. And that's the level of scam I'm trying to go for here. There we go. Now take that opacity down to like 50. Or even lower, like 37. 37 looks great. Awesome. So I'm gonna go fix my face using the face tool. And in this picture, I like to make it look like I have a little bit thicker brows than I do. So go in and up the thickness, then give them a little lift. It makes you look a little bit more surprised, like you're going in the picture. I could make my nose a little bit smaller. I like my nose, but just for demonstration, I'll take it to like an 11. A little bit smaller, just the teeniest bit smaller, and save all of those face changes. They're really subtle. I like to do really subtle changes that make just the icing on the cake, because you don't want to go overboard. I don't want to come here on video and then have people go, whoa, you look nothing like that, but I do want to look significantly better in these photos than I do look here. I'm going to go back into retouch, and I'm going to use the smooth tool. Now, I use the smooth tool very sparingly and only in a few spots. So what I like to do is I like to use smooth right here on this area right there. I also scrub because I'm using Facetune 2, and Facetune 2 has these helpful little slider boys, so I don't see the point in like dabbing because it takes too long. I just scrub and then change the opacity of it later. Smooth where my mustache is, smooth on my chin, and smooth a tiny bit on my forehead. Keep that opacity around like 35-40%. And it's just like a nice veil of smoothness all over your skin. I like a kind of gray background in my photos. I think it makes me look a little bit better. So I like to go into retouch and then black and white and just gray out my background and then erase the parts that I made a little mistakes on. Okay, if you really want to finesse, here we go. This is like level 3 finessery right here. We're gonna go into reshape. I'm going to hit the refine tool and pull out the waves of our hair. So my hair is wavy here. So the little points where the waves are at their biggest and smallest, I'm gonna pull out and pull in. Pull out, pull in. And it just makes your hair look that much more voluptuous and full. And this is the stupidest thing I've ever done, but it works and I think it looks really pretty. But you can't leave these drawers back here looking all crusty and wavy. So we use the restore tool and fix how straight those look. That way no one can tell that you fully finessed your hair. Now fix the window. Flat hair, full hair. Flat hair, full hair. Flat hair, full hair. I'm also gonna flatten the top of my head so my head doesn't look gigantic. Now we get to go in to do just a little bit of details. Go over my necklace, go over my eyes just a little bit. Keep that around like 40-50%. And then I like to use sharpen on my eyebrows so you can see the individual brow hairs, and on my baby hairs for the same reason. But keep that real low, like 20%. I'm really exposing myself here. This is just the beginning of it. Oh, you thought I was done? Absolutely not. I'm going to save that to my camera roll. And then I'm going to go into the second app, which is Enlight. Now this is for my people who don't really know their angles as well as they'd like to. Some angles are just less flattering to certain faces, and some are more flattering, and some are just gonna make you look better. But if you didn't get the exact right angle when you took the picture, you're not gonna look as good as you could. But the way to finesse this is in a tool like this. So you want to go into canvas and then skew, so you can shift it back and forth until you get an angle that looks just right. Don't move it too much or it's gonna look like ridiculous. Like, you don't want to look like this in your photo, but if you move it just a little bit one way or the other, I actually really like the angle. I'm gonna move it down a little bit. And then this is my favorite tool. This is Distort. It makes your face just look a little bit smaller, which I like. So I take Distort to like -4 and then save that. Now the final app that I like to use to get all of the colors and the filtering right in my photos is Lightroom. In this photo I'm gonna go to light adjust the exposure. I really change what I do with this in every picture. I really just recommend you play around with it, and then you'll find something that you like. So hold up, be right back. I'm gonna just play around with this a little bit until I find something that really tickles my fancy. So for this picture, what I ended up doing is I left the exposure alone. I lowered the contrast a lot. I lowered the highlights, upped the shadows a lot. I like to increase the shadows because I think it makes the photo look a little bit better lit. Upped the whites and really decreased the blacks. Okay, so this is the part that I really like. This is my favorite part of editing photos. I think it's the most fun, and I think it has the biggest impact on really what a photo looks like. I go into mix in the color section. So this is the HSL section of Lightroom, which stands for hue, saturation, and luminance. It changes basically how to shift a color on the color wheel, how saturated it is, and how light or dark it is. So you can go in with each color. You can go in with red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, and pinks, and shift how each one looks. So if you were to change, I'll show you the orange because there's the most like orange in this picture. You could make the oranges all really red toned oranges and then make them super saturated and make them really dark, and my skin would look like I just got dipped in a vat of hot sauce. So I'm gonna change the reds, move the saturation back and forth to see what's red in the photo, and it's mainly my lips are the biggest red things in the photo. I'm gonna up the saturation of those just a little bit, make them a little bit more pink toned reds, and decrease the luminance just a smidgen for a really like nice lipstick color. I don't like to change my skin that much because I think that's weird, but sometimes the photo will come out a little bit too yellow or a little bit too green. So I'm gonna move that to the red a little bit. I don't touch the luminance on my skin, so leave that to 0. See what's yellow in the picture. I like to decrease the yellows, decrease the saturation on yellow a lot, increase the luminance of yellow a lot, and it really makes my skin look a little bit more highlighted, makes my shirt a little less dusty. All in all, brightens up the photo a little bit. But I also like to really make sure that those yellows are not green yellows. I like to make sure they're very golden yellows. So move that all the way to orange. There's no green in this photo, so it doesn't really matter. Blue, there's no real blue in this photo. Purple, no purple either. Pinks, no real pinks. Now go to detail, sharpen it up a little bit, add a little bit of masking, a little noise reduction, and that is about it for that. And that is the final photo on that. So let me show you the before and after. So this is the before, the after. Awesome. So moving on to picture number 2, it's kind of the same process, but I wanted to show you guys on a photo that was a little bit more glammed up. Okay, so this is photo number 2. It's basically the same process, same 3 apps that I like to use, but this time it's a very glam photo, and I wanted to show you how I accentuate my makeup more than fix my skin. So I'm going to use the black and tone just to fill in those little spots where I think the eyeliner could look a little bit better. I really don't believe in editing makeup on. I think that's a big no-no. So I'm wearing contacts in this picture, and they're really pretty and I like them, but I want to make them look just that bit much more intense. I'm going to take the picker tool, select one of the colors in my eye, make it a little bit lighter, and then use tone to place just a few highlights in the eye. I like to use retouch and go into vibrance. Now you can go overkill with this really quickly, so I like to really be minimal with this and go down to like 15%. Now do the same black and white with the background to gray my background. Now back to the highlights. I want to use retouch and structure just to add a little bit of that texture back to the highlights. You want to add like glittery texture over the smoothed skin texture. Awesome. Want to give yourself a jawline? Give yourself a jawline. Do you have one? No. Give yourself one. So I'm gonna get rid of this light right here on my ceiling because I think it's really distracting and I don't want to see it. So I'm gonna go into the patch tool and scrub all over it, and then use the ceiling on this side to patch over it. You might need to do it several times just to get all the right spots. Save that to the camera roll. Then we're gonna go right back into Enlight, fix the angles, before, after, and export to Lightroom. So for this one, I decided on a tiny increase in exposure, decrease in contrast, a little increase in highlights, a big increase in shadows, like a decrease in the whites, and a big decrease in the blacks. For color, I'm gonna go right to mix again, increase the saturation of the reds, and not play with it too much because it's really affecting my eyeshadow. Increase the saturation a little bit of the oranges for my skin. Ooh, that's, ooh. Decrease the luminance a teeny bit. Decrease the greens and increase the saturation of the pinks just a little bit. Ooh, that's frightening. And decrease the luminance just a teeny smidgen. Click done for that, and then I'm gonna change the temperature of the photo a little bit, make it a tiny bit cooler, a little bit more pink tint, and a little bit more vibrant, tiny bit more saturated. Then go into detail, sharpen her up, and there you go. Here is the before photo, here is the after. Okay, so here comes the ultimate finesse. I'm gonna show you how to fix this really like poorly lit photo. I actually really like this photo of me. I think I look pretty cute, but I look really greasy and not as slim thick as I'd like to. So first I'm gonna finesse my body. Awesome. I'm gonna give me a butt that I don't have. Reshape, give me just a little bit of a tush. Not crazy, but a little tush. We're gonna add a little slimness to the slim thick and bring in my waist just a whittle. You could have had a tiny waist, just a whittle. Fix this little roll right here. Now to make me look a little bit less greasy, because I just went through a whole concert and had a lot of highlighter on and I looked like a grease ball. Use the paint tool, go over it, find the skin tone, and just tone over it. So I'm gonna use heal and try to tone down some of the shiniest parts by healing over them. Now I'm gonna get rid of some of the dirty gum on the sidewalk because that's not fashion. Using the patch tool. So now I'm going to use the black and white to get rid of some of the yellow tones on the wall and on the sidewalk. I'm just gonna go over everything and then get rid of myself. So now that the background looks less yellow, I'm going to go into edit. This is my favorite part. We're gonna use the light function and just brighten that up a lot. I like what it's doing to almost all of the photo, but my outfit. So I'm gonna go in and erase it over my clothes. Save to the camera roll. You know the drill. We're gonna open up into Enlight. Now in full body photos like this, playing with the angles of your photo are really gonna make a difference. When you use the vertical, bring it where the numbers are positive, and horizontal, bring it whatever way you look better. Save, and I look like a mile taller in this version of the photo because I look stretched and elongated and great, and that is what I want. Take it on over to Lightroom. I'm going to go into light, play around with that. I'll tell you guys the settings when I figure them out. And the biggest thing I'm gonna play with here are shadows, but I wanna keep the blacks fairly dark, and I'm gonna increase the exposure a teeny weeny bit. I like low contrast photos, so I'm gonna decrease the contrast, up with the highlights, and turning the whites down a little bit. Now the shot is way too warm, so I'm gonna take down the temperature a little bit and make it a little bit pinker. I'm gonna go into the colors. I want to keep my skin fairly vibrant, but I do want to get rid of that green tint it has. Increase the saturation of my skin because it was lost in the shadow. Now I'm gonna play with the reds of my outfit. It was red, so I'm gonna increase the saturation of that up a ton, but decrease the luminance of it so it doesn't lose that leathery feel that it was. Decrease the greens, decrease the blues. Okay, so this one I think has the biggest transformation. Here's the before photo and the after. And that's like the insane differences of photo editing, because in this one I look taller, I look like I've skipped out on a few unnecessary chicken nuggets. Please don't take any of this too seriously. It's all for fun, all for games. It's more important to have fun at the concert than it is to get awesome Instagrammable pictures of it. I hope you enjoyed some tips. I hope you learned a few things about the power of these 3 apps. The 3 apps that I mentioned, by the way, are Facetune, Enlight, and Lightroom. Lightroom is free. I think Enlight costs money, but I think you can do some of the same things that I do in Enlight in the actual camera roll now. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you have any more video suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel. It would make me really happy because I worked really hard on this video and it took like 2 hours. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hello, beautiful people. Ooh, that was ugly. A bomb Instagram picture using Facetune. What? What am I saying? My lip gloss looks good though. No plastic surgery. No knives involved. Can I start this intro over for like the 12th time? I've tried to film this for so long now. I'm so stupid. What am I talking about? I'm on drugs. What is wrong with me? This is how you catfish online. Yeah, catfish is a food. It's also a fish. You don't have to eat catfish in order to catfish online. I'm just singing all my thoughts as they come to me. La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dee-dee. My eyebrows look stupid.